चंद जीव जो हैं जिनको गुरु का आश्रय है। किया है बिल्कुल ये चलते हैं एक दिन शुद्ध भक्त बनकर गोपाल जी महाराज हरे कृष्णा। एक बहुत ही सुंदर आपकी नारी में हमारे प्रभुपाद जी श्री गुरु महाराज का चमत्कार हुआ। इस धुन में विश्वास पवन जी महाराज जो हमारे इस्कान जुहू मंदिर के हेड पुजारी भी रहे हैं, हमारे गुरु महाराज उनका बहुत अच्छा संबंध है, शुरू से उन्होंने अपने आप में लिखा है। हरे कृष्णा प्रेमानंद करते हैं। ओम अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। आपकी नारी नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने महाराज। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य आज बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण हम यहाँ देख रहे हैं भगवान अपने भक्तों को अपने समय में कैसे आगे पीछे बुलाते हैं। जन्माष्टमी के दूसरे दिन श्री गुरु महाराज जी आए, श्री प्रभुपाद जी और हमारे गुरु भाई परम पूजनीय गोपाल गोस्वामी महाराज जी एक दिन बाद आए। ठीक कितनी परंपरा में आए। 1975 से मैं इनके साथ हूँ और जो श्री गुरु महाराज जी श्री प्रभुपाद जी ने आदेश दिया था 1976 में परम पूजनीय गोपाल गोस्वामी महाराज जी को रूस जाकर प्रचार करो और पुस्तक वितरण करो। महाराज जी यह पालन करते आ रहे हैं। मुझे यह बात कैसे मालूम, क्योंकि मैं टेम्पल कमांडर के साथ में था। टेम्पल कमांडर को श्री प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला कि गोपाल कृष्ण महाराज जी को बुलाकर लेकर आओ। मैं भी उनके साथ पीछे पीछे चला गया। इसलिए यह जानकारी मुझे प्रत्यक्ष रूप से प्राप्त है। महाराज जो हैं वहाँ जीवीसी हैं, 45 साल से हैं और मेरे शिक्षा गुरु के साथ साथ संन्यास गुरु भी हैं। महाराज जी के स्वास्थ्य के लिए श्री राधा रास बिहारी जी एवं श्री राधा पार्षद जी के भी चरणों में निवेदन करते हैं कि आपको स्वस्थ रखें ताकि हम श्री प्रभुपाद जी की और सेवा कर पाएं। महाराज जी बहुत ही कर्तव्यनिष्ठ हैं। अभी मैं रायपुर में रहकर सुन रहा था, महाराज जी प्रतिवर्ष विदेश में जाकर प्रचार करते हैं। इस महामारी के कारण नहीं जा पाए, किंतु अपना प्रचार कार्य बंद नहीं किए। लगातार अपने प्रवचनों से सभी भक्तों को भक्ति मार्ग में आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा निरंतर देते रहे। आज महाराज जी के 76 व्यास पूजा महामहोत्सव है। महाराज जी को श्री प्रभुपाद जी ने पूरे इंडिया का जीवीसी बनाए थे और आज भी हैं और आगे भी हमेशा बने रहेंगे। महाराज ताली बजाते हैं। महाराज जी के बारे में जितना भी गुणगान करूं वह कम है। महाराज जी का स्वभाव अति सरल है और उनकी स्नेह की कृपा मेरे ऊपर सदा बनी रहती है और महाराज जी सभी भक्तों के ऊपर अपने स्नेह की कृपा करते रहते हैं। महाराज जी एक कुशल व्यवस्थापक हैं। मेरी दृष्टि में आज तक कोई भी बड़ी समस्या इस भारत में आई है, अपने इस्कान परिवार में उसका समाधान महाराज जी ने ही निकाला है। महाराज जी का गुणगान जितना किया जाए उतना कम है। आज मेरा स्वास्थ्य थोड़ा ठीक न होने के कारण मैं अपनी वाणी को यहीं विराम देता हूँ और महाराज जी के श्री चरणों में निवेदन करता हूँ, मुझे क्षमा कीजिएगा, मैं आपकी व्यास पूजा में वहाँ नहीं आ सका। मैं अपनी श्रद्धा भाव आपके श्री चरणों में अर्पित कर रहा हूँ और हम सभी को महाराज जी से शिक्षा प्राप्त करनी चाहिए कि हम महाराज के श्री चरणों का आश्रय लेकर भक्ति मार्ग में आगे बढ़ते रहें। आपका सेवक ही जोड़ने सिद्धार्थ स्वामी जी महाराज, इस्कान रायपुर छत्तीसगढ़। हरे कृष्णा। तब हमारे परम पूजनीय लोकनाथ स्वामी महाराज की ऑफरिंग आप सुनेंगे वीडियो पे। परम पूजनीय लोकनाथ स्वामी जी महाराज। महाराज जी आ गए।
On the occasion of your 76th birth anniversary, Vyasa Puja. Please accept my humble obeisances at your feet, Maharaj. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa simdhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hari Hari. Yeah, 76. That's that. You are much senior to me in age. That's called Vayo Vradha, but you are also senior to me. In every possible way. Your realizations and your dedication and your sacrifices and your commitment is you are way ahead of me. So we are happy. You are ahead. You are leading us. May you be gifted with long life. 76 or 100 is not that far now. Sharadam Pashemaha. Shatam Sharadam Pashemaha. You may see 100 autumn seasons, and of course let those seasons be the healthy seasons. You may remain active forever or active in this body for a long time. Hari Hari. Yeah, thank you for a lot of things that you have done for me in past how many years? We got together in 1975, and so that's 45 years or so we are together, worked and served and stayed together, serving many projects together, especially project in Delhi, project in Mumbai, and other projects. So you always have encouraged me, supported me, helped me out. Friend in need is friend indeed. When I was in need of some special assistance, you offered that help. So I'm thankful for all the help, especially all the inspiration that you are providing. Not just to me, but to the whole world, to thousands of your disciples, and hundreds and thousands of your junior God brothers like myself are inspired by your example, your exemplary Prabhupada. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. You have pleased Srila Prabhupada so much by distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, making so many devotees and building temples. In Delhi alone, or NCR alone, there are more than a dozen temples. So I think Prabhupada wrote to you, and at least in that letter he was talking about, I think he was just talking of one temple. But you have built so many temples and so many more in pipeline. So this is certainly very pleasing, most pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. He has served the trustee of the BBT for ages. You are one of the oldest and senior governing body commissioner, managing affairs of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, served as the chairman of ISKCON India Bureau, and so all possible venues and areas and projects you have led, established. Hari. So this is very inspiring and certainly pleasing to us, and for sure pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. And if I have committed any offenses, knowingly, unknowingly, in the past, please forgive me. Be kind on this occasion of your appearance. Be kind and kindly forgive me. And all glories to you, Your Holiness, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaja ki. Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Partha Sarthi ki jai.
I believe this was a recorded message.
और भक्तवृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Goswami, thank you very much for your very kind offering. You're always very generous. You're a big preacher yourself, and we take inspiration from your preaching. Thank you for your kind words.
हरे कृष्ण। गुरु महाराज की जय। अब हमारे बीच में हिज ग्रेस देवकी नंदन प्रभु, आप सब अच्छी तरह जानते हैं, वो हमारे गुरु महाराज जी का ग्लोरिफिकेशन करेंगे। वो महाराज जी के साथ बहुत शुरू में रहे हैं और हमारे भी शिक्षा गुरु रहे हैं। हरे कृष्ण।
ऑनलाइन का जमाना है।
हिज ग्रेस देवकीनंदन प्रभु जोन सेक्रेटरी भी हैं बिहार के, उत्तर प्रदेश के, साथ साथ हमारे इस्कॉन के फंड रेजिंग मिनिस्टर भी हैं पूरे इस्कॉन वर्ल्ड के।
वेट कर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं ना आप।
Hare Krishna, Hare
Today, 76-year young boy, I was just hearing the offering written by Amrita Devi Dasi to Bombay because I couldn't hear anything here. So I thought, thanks to Zoom, I thought when I jump from here to you. So Amrita has written and Krishnamai Mataji was reading. And she read the last year and this year itinerary of Maharaja. And after hearing the whole itinerary of Maharaj,
45 minutes
I was thinking, my goodness, where do we stand? I mean, he's so active even in this age. He's so active. So this is something that we have to learn from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Of course, each beat of his life is nothing but a lesson for us. Just only few days back, he was talking, and he was saying that how he feels suffocated in this Corona time. Someone like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who is very, very active, and he is jailed right now in Delhi. Even, before going to Vrindavan for Balram Purnima, he called, and he was asking, should I go or not? Should I go or not? And I said, Maharaj, better you don't go. This is my special situation. Please do not go because situation. And we just saw Bhakti Charu Maharaj, what happened, all these things. He smiled and still he went. And, he did Abhishek to Krishna Balram. He met devotees. He called me and gave the update of Vrindavan temple. And went back in Delhi. So Maharaj is just very active. So this is what we need to learn, that we don't have time. And this kind of thing is given by the Divine Guest Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, how anybody can imagine that in 10 years time what Prabhupada has done? Can anybody do? Prabhupada did not waste even single moment. And one of the quality of pure of that column, they don't waste even single moment. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is a living example of Prabhupada's mission and food. Other good quality of Maharaj is that Maharaj always likes to come first. This is very good. In everything. Whether it is book distribution, and right now, prasad distribution. So, or anything. You just think, we may not think right now, but two things come in our mind. I remember in Bombay, when Maharaj was DBC, I came in 79. And those days, earlier, we had, Bhagavad Darshan in Hindi translation. And first, on some other small book. And Bhagavad Gita came out. That is also only 6 chapters translated. And so journey began from there. But, very soon the translation was done. Maharaj was personally overseeing the translation and printing. So he was day in, day out. Therefore, when the pranam mantra was made, thanks to His Holiness Loknath Swami, who made the pranam mantra, Pracharam Kritaman Sadhu Bhagavad Padayate Namaha Prabhupada Sahityam Yo Pratyasya Victoriacha. So that is very much befitting. Hey, organizer, you all are talking. Organizer, you got to shut up. Haribol, all the organizer, you mute yourself. Organizer got to mute yourself. Too much sound coming from my side. I don't know. You all are able to hear, I have no idea. Anyway, I'll talk. So I remember speaking in first Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in Bombay. And I quoted this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapila Dev teaching to Mother Dehuti. The symptom of a Suridam Sarvadehinam Ajas Tatrava Santa Sadhava Sadhu Usam. I have been meditating on each qualification that Lord Kapil Dev gives to his mother, Vibhuti. And all those qualifications are very much befitting on Maharaj from the day one that I spoke. Maybe I thought those days I spoke too much, because in Bhagavatam it says, Kirtadhi Kirtanjali, one should speak the quality of any devotee according to the quality what they have, or the Lord, Kirtadhi, whatever performance he has, whatever qualification he has. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has all those qualities. Titikshava is so humble. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, even an ant. Even he insulted many a time. In this 40 years time I have seen. But Maharaj takes it very easy. He doesn't get disturbed. I will give a latest example. We have GBC meeting here in Kanpur. I am in Kanpur, I came yesterday from Bombay. So we had GBC meeting here in Kanpur. And Maharaj wanted to speak something. But because his age, he doesn't wake up, put his hand up like this, just like, half. And whoever was chairing the meeting, he saw that Maharaj is raising his hand. Not only one time, many a time, but he was not allowing him to speak. So one point, Bhakti Charu Maharaj and myself we were observing. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj became very angry. And he told the chairman that he cannot do it like this to, who is the most senior in our GBC here. Because but Gopal Krishna Maharaj is more senior than Japtaka Maharaj, the GBC. So he is most senior GBC here today, and you cannot, behave like that to him. And after the meeting, Maharaj did not, like that, Bhakti Charu Maharaj chastised him or told, the chairman who was chairing the meeting. And Maharaj said, "No, chalta hai, koi baat nahi, that's all right, no, okay, maybe he didn't see or things like that." So he's such a tolerant personification, just titikshava. And many other, like even in Juhu, many times I speak out strongly and I feel guilty later on. And I go and apologize to him. But Maharaj does not take it as offense. He's like a father who always wants to encourage his son to, do something good. So Maharaj always have forgiven to me and encouraged me to do different service. One who knows me, they know me, I have too much anartha and I have so many bad qualities, but still under the pure guidance of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, I am here today, whatever I am. All credit goes to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is so kind-hearted to everyone. I think he is only GBC that with him,
It's 11
he
o'clock.
had most or many Prabhupada disciples or senior devotees working with or staying from the day one till now. You take in India or anywhere, any part of the world. Because, once he told me, and I also practice in my life, that I don't want anybody to work under me, but we should work together, with cooperation. So His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he doesn't want anybody to work under him, but he wants everybody to work with. And that's a great quality. That's one of his very good qualities. And I have learned from him. And we work together, whether senior or junior or whoever. Because end of the day we are doing everything for pleasure of Guru and Krishna. And we don't have anything to boss around anyway. So that's other good example. Titikshava, Karunika, Maharaj is so kind. He is so kind. I mean, what can I say of his kindness? From senior to junior, whoever comes in contact with him, they can feel his kindness. If anybody comes to Delhi, we know many devotees who got sick in Delhi. Maharaj personally attended and he made sure, he told Krishna, Priya Prabhu and other devotees to be there at his service, at their service. And even we come to Delhi or anywhere for the meeting, he said everything all right. He personally makes sure that, and his kindness not only for seniors, but anyone and everybody. Everybody can approach him. It's easy to be approached. Easy to approach. Krishna has given him, he has empowered him with a lot of energy. From morning to night, he is fully engaged. Whether you call it in book discussion time, even we don't go out on book stall now, earlier we go, but when Maharaj is in Bombay or anywhere, he personally visits every day on each book stall to inspire people. This is the qualification of a great leader. Same way in Bombay, we have Mumbai, we have every year on Makar Sankranti distribution of prasadam or food for life over few lakh people. Maharaj makes sure to visit all those different places. Throughout the day he goes. He has no time for eating, no time for sleeping. This is the qualification of a pure devotee, which is given by Prahlad Maharaj. The Prahlad Maharaj, he was saying, Socho Vimukha. I am only thinking about those fools and rascals who have become Vimukha, who has, been opposite of Krishna consciousness. So the original Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is like that. He always thinks that how he can do good to others. In temple, his room is filled. Even once he was taking rest, and I wanted to meet him for something. So I don't know who was there, Dasavatar, prior to him, whoever was Maharaj's servant, or maybe Ajay Govinda. And I asked, when the door was closed, what is Maharaj doing? He's taking bath. No, Maharaj is taking some rest. I said, okay, let me know when he gets up, I want to meet. And then I heard that Maharaj heard my voice, and then servant comes and tells me that Maharaj wants to see you. Please come. I said, he told me I take rest. He said, no, he heard. So for him, service is more important than anything else. That's karuna, chichava karunika. Whether it is to non-devotee or devotee or senior or junior, he is available. He has made himself available for one and all. Chichava karunika, suhridam sarvati naam. He's so suhrid, he's so lovely. We love you, Your Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He's so much loved that one devotee, once we were in meeting, and that devotee met Prime Minister, and Prime Minister asked him, how is your Gopal Krishna Maharaj? Out of, he has so many things, but he remember Maharaj by name. He said, how is your Gopal Krishna Maharaj? So he is so much loved by one and all. So Ichva Karunika Suhridam, and vice versa, he loves everybody. Suhridam Sarvadegna, one and all. Ajat Satrava, I can boldly say that Maharaj has no son. He has no enemy. And whoever thought Maharaj as a threat or as an enemy, because Maharaj never considered anybody enemy. In front of my eyes, I have seen they have gone away. They end up committing offense. And Radharaj Bihari does not tolerate. So Maharaj has gone through a lot of ups and downs. I spoke out something like very openly last year or 70 years. But he has no enemy. Even somebody offends him, he is one who goes and apologizes. He is one who goes and apologizes, not them. So Ajat Satrava, Santa, very peaceful. I don't know, he didn't take much rest. He eats very, little, but one good thing that he keeps, he takes care of his health very nicely, such as wherever he is at the morning program, he will go for morning walk for half an hour. And sometimes when him and me, we are walking, he makes a laugh, you're a young man, you can walk, faster than me, no problem. So, and even, when I meet him in walk time, I offer obeisances. He also starts, halfway going, and no problem. I said, Maharaj, this thing. So, all this such a wonderful quality Maharaj has. How can I know many people are there to speak. I can go on and speak for hours, but I have been given time for stuff. Other thing I can see recently, I experienced that how Maharaj, is very much business. These things, not for today, but for tomorrow. Not what went wrong, but what could go wrong. Maharaj knows. He has been telling us in Juhu that we are on the ocean side. We do not know when a big cyclone will come. We do not know how the water will come and, damage the temple or something. We must have some farm. We must have some farm. So when we got that farm in Talasari, Maharaj was very happy. Personally told me, so happy. And what he had told like 5-6 years back, and it came true in this coronavirus time. In coronavirus time, when I don't know how many other temples, but everybody got stuck. They could not get flour from the market, they could not get sabji, and so on and so forth. But our beloved Sri Radharas Bihari got every day flour from the, and we need enough flour, so much flour. So we got flour from farm, we got milk, ghee, fruit, vegetable, everything. So credit goes to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj for inspiring us to do something for the pleasure of their Lordship. And last but not least, I can just see that Maharaj kindness to us and encouraging us to move forward. That has really, many people that has really touched me a lot. Maharaj wants to see that I am growing old. I want all of you to be more responsible. In every bureau meeting, he had to talk about, journal supervisor thing in India, implementation of, and said, I got so many boys, I want to give them responsibility and so on and so forth. So, he's very much eager to inspire others to take up this service, to spread Krishna consciousness. Recently, few weeks back, he told me, why don't you become Guru? I'll propose your name. I said, no. So long as you are alive, Maharaj, I am your disciple. From the day one I have been with you, you are my Siksha Guru. I will follow the etiquette, you remain Guru, and I will remain your disciple. So I was trying to say that how he is so encouraging every time. So one and all, but with me, I have personal experience. He, such a wonderful quality of protection. He protects devotee, he gives them facility to serve devotee, and he encourages devotee to take more and more responsibility besides many other external qualities. His internal quality, that is, he got deity, he is very attached to the deity, he does arti wherever he goes, his sadhana is first class, meditation on the Lord is very intensive, and care for the devotee. So they are, and Shastric, depth in Shastra, in speaking, so, and practical according to time, place and circumstances. So they are the, some of the qualities that I wanted to share with you all, besides many, and I can go on talking, but I know there are many, so I want to respect everybody's time, organizers. Therefore, I'll stop here. I'll only pray to Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, that Maharaj, Krishna should give him more long life and strength to push us to serve Srila Prabhupada, because in the world everybody is selfish, so we are also selfish. But we want to be selfish for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, long life and healthy life, so it can inspire us, encourage us, forgive us if there is offenses in service of Srila Prabhupada and His family. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
हरे कृष्णा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देवकीनंदन प्रभु जी का। और निश्चित रूप से भक्तों के हृदय में बहुत प्रेम है महाराज के लिए। There is volcanic love for Maharaj, but we would request kindly customize the glorification.
Can I speak for a minute? Devkinanda Prabhu has been working with me since 1975. He started in Bombay as a temple commander, worked hard, and it risen to the top. So he's done a good job. Now we have zonal responsibility for many parts of India, including UP. Built a nice temple in Kanpur and several other projects on the way. So he worked hard and achieved success, and I wish him well. Hare Krishna.
बहुत धन्यवाद. So once again I would request all the devotees who are either on Zoom or who are going to come here and present their offerings, kindly customize your offering to 2 to 3 minutes. That means 120 seconds to 180 seconds, so that more and more devotees can express their love towards Maharaj. So that's my humble request. I know you have so much of love that you can keep on speaking entire day, but I know we are doing this offense, but please excuse us for this offense. Restrict your offerings to 2 to 3 minutes, 120 seconds to maximum 180 seconds. So now we would go for the Vyasa Puja book offering.
You will give senior devotees more time.
Ji Maharaj. For senior devotees, 240 seconds. 300 seconds, 5 minutes. Okay, so now we will go for Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja offering. So it is going to be online. So I would request Dashanavatar Prabhu to kindly come, and Maharaj with his transcendental clicking on that site would activate it, and devotees can view this Vyasa Puja offering. Maharaj, he is coming to you, Maharaj. So first it will come to you, Maharaj. With your transcendental click, Maharaj, then it would be activated. Otherwise nobody knows about this Vyasa Puja offering. Hari Bol. Here's this video connected to this. This from right from the website in glories of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. It's an e-book here, so after clicking we can see that PDF version of this of the Vyasa Puja book. So one can download or one can view as well. It has got very beautiful graphical user interface, as if you are opening a book with sound effect, with beautiful photographs of Guru Maharaj as well as Maharaj's glories, his dedication, his loyalty to Srila Prabhupada, his pastimes, and loving offerings from so many devotees all across the globe. It has got 830 pages, a very graphical online resource, and here Maharaj is clicking it and it is turning page by page. So many devotees, we can see the index in itself is so big. So many devotees, they have given their Vyasa Puja offerings to Maharaj. This shows that Maharaj has invested so much in their lives, and now that investment of blessings and grace and teachings is now getting reflected in the form of these loving offerings. Hari Bol. So it was Vyasa Puja book offering. So this was Vyasa Puja book. So ये Vyasa Puja book जो कि महाराज की को अर्पित की गई थी, महाराज ने उसको क्लिक करके ऑनलाइन जो उसको क्लिक किया, एक्टिवेट किया उसको. सो अभी आपने देखा उसको बड़ा ग्राफिकली यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत किया गया. बिल्कुल उसी तरह से आप उसको एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं जैसे कि कोई बुक खोली जाती है, उसी प्रकार से उसका अनुभव कर सकते हैं. तो जिन भक्तों ने इसमें सहयोग दिया है इसका ई वर्जन तैयार करने में, उनके लिए वन लाउड हरि बोल. साथ ही एक और बहुत ही जबरदस्त मास्टरपीस, अ डिवोशनल, फिलोसॉफिकल एंड इंस्पिरेशनल मास्टरपीस, दैट इज इंडियाज ग्लोरी, प्रभुपाद's डिजायर फुलफिल्ड इन दिल्ली एंड बियॉन्ड. तो ये अभी हम महाराज को अभी ऑफर करेंगे. So Anand Chaitanya Prabhu and Sitarani Mataji, they can come in the front. Satyaraj Prabhu, he initiated this project. He desired that there should be pastimes of Maharaj, Maharaj's glories, and how Maharaj has so selflessly dedicated himself in the service of Srila Prabhupada. And that ways, the content of this book is in two parts. One is the biography His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So that phase, Satyaraj Prabhu has done a lot of research, a lot of interviews were being done before compiling this masterpiece, and also it contains the history and the dedication, the efforts of so many wonderful devotees who, under the guidance of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, made so many beautiful temples, wonderful temples, who are centers of culture and education, philosophy. So that phase, these are the two parts of this book, and Satyaraj Prabhu, he compiled it, and of course the entire project was steered by Anand Chaitanya Prabhu and Sitarani Mataji. And Aladini Shakti Prabhu was also there as a co-author of the book. So it's a very beautiful, very colorful presentation. It would be available on goldenagemedia.org. It would be available for rupees 900 only. ये हिंदी में अवेलेबल अभी नहीं है, लेकिन हाँ ये आप इसको ऑर्डर करना चाहे कर सकते हैं goldenagemedia.org से. तो इसमें इसका दो पार्ट हैं. एक तो है कि इसमें श्री गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज जी की जीवनी है, जिसको कि सत्यराज प्रभु ने बहुत ही रिसर्च करके कई भक्तों के इंटरव्यूज लिए उन्होंने, और महाराज के भी इंटरव्यूज लिए, और उसके बाद इसको कंपाइल किया गया। महाराज के ऐसे यूनिक पास टाइम्स हैं इस बुक के अंदर जो कि आपने कभी सुने नहीं होंगे पहले कभी। सो वो भी है इसके अंदर, और साथ ही महाराज का बहुत अथक प्रयास और उनके अनुगत जो भक्त हैं उनका अथक प्रयास, जिसके द्वारा दिल्ली एनसीआर में और भी बाकी जो मंदिर हैं जो महाराज की जोन में आते हैं वो किस प्रकार से प्रकट हुए, वो सारी जो दिव्य लीला है हरे कृष्ण आंदोलन के फैलने की, वो इस बुक के अंदर है। सो इसलिए इस बुक को अवश्य ऑर्डर करें। और जो वेबसाइट है मैं फिर से बताना चाहूंगा, goldenagemedia.org। 900 रुपीज की है, डॉलर्स में कितना होगा विल कंफर्म यू लेटर। सो महाराज इस बारे में कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे हमारे? माइक माइक माइक।
Hare Krishna. Satyaraj Prabhu is Prabhupada's disciple who lives in New York, and he approached me, he wanted to do a book on me. I said, don't do a book on me, do a book on Prabhupada in Delhi. So, where's the book? So the name of the book is India's Glory, Prabhupada's Thinking.
Prabhupada's
Thinking, Prabhupada's desire fulfilled in Delhi and beyond. So Satyaraj, he has written many books. He did the interviews, and then after he completed it, then Anand Chaitanya and his wife Chaitanya Sitarani, they two worked together and they got the book printed, and they have financed the whole printing of this book. So thank you very much.
Haribo.
And Satyaraj was compensated by disciples in America. So it's a nice book, and I believe it's going to be available in the bookshop soon. So thank you very much.
हरी बोल। साथ ही एक और बुक है लव मात्र, ये रशिया के जो डिवोटीज हैं वो इसको हर साल पब्लिश करते हैं जून के महीने में, और फिर महाराज की व्यास पूजा पे फिर इसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। तो ये भी अभी हम महाराज को ऑफर करना चाहेंगे, लव मात्र फ्रॉम द डिवोटीज फ्रॉम रशिया। लव मात्र। सो दिस, ये हर साल रशिया के डिवोटीज कंपाइल करते हैं महाराज के पास टाइम्स पे, उनके टीचिंग्स पे, उनके टूरिंग, महाराज कहाँ कहाँ गए और क्या क्या और लीलाएं महाराज ने की, ये सब इस बुक में होती है। लव मात्र।
This book is in Russian.
इस रशियन, ये
Nice pictures.
ये रशियन भाषा में है ये किताब। साथ ही एक और बुक आज जो लॉन्च करने वाले महाराज के शुभ हस्त कमलों से, वो है लिटिल जीनियस, कंपाइल्ड बाय अजीत गोविंद प्रभु, Learning with fun, ingeniously. Yes, Maharaj. Ajit Govind Prabhu, Maharaj calling you.
Ajit Govinda has become a very famous author.
Haribo.
He wrote books on the Vedic teachings in a secular manner. Now these books are being translated in many countries of the world.
Haribo.
So, and many countries of the world are translating Russian, Ukrainian, and so many languages. So he's written some new books, and there's this little genius. We offered it at Mangalarati. Put up a table with these books. So as you know, this Vyasa Puja has been connected mainly online. We had a lot of discussion how to do it, and the devotees felt online was the best. So we only have a small team participating here, and I believe the rest are participating online.
Jai Haribo. एक और बहुत ही सुंदर बुक है माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड कृष्णा बाय सिंपल कपूर माता जी, जो कि यहाँ कांग्रेगेशन नाहमटा को बिलोंग करती है माता जी। तो इसमें उन बच्चों के लिए है ये बुक जो कि 15 साल के आसपास हैं, those who have reached the age of 15. So इसमें Lord Krishna and the 5 rasas and reciprocation of Krishna with his devotees. So that's the main content of this book. So ये महाराज को ऑफर करना चाहेंगे।
Is she here?
सिंपल कपूर माता जी।
Nice name. Simple Kapoor.
Yes, महाराज। थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल द डिवोटीज जिन्होंने आज यहाँ पर सारी बुक्स कंपाइल करके महाराज की व्यास पूजा ऑफरिंग में महाराज को अर्पित किया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद उन सभी भक्तों का। अभी भक्ति वासुदेव महाराज अभी ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल हैं, सो महाराज से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे। वी रिक्वेस्ट भक्ति वासुदेव स्वामी महाराज टू प्लीज काइंडली कम ऑनलाइन थ्रू जूम, सो you'll get to hear his offerings to Maharaj.
Please start, Maharaj.
Again,
What
we
did you
request
say?
all the devotees to.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pacharini Nirvisesa Sunyabadi Pashatyati Satar Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaja. So, I thank you, the organizers of this program, for inviting me to be part of this celebration. I understand that the network system is a little bit hazy, but I'll be brief. I've known His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaji right from when I was a brahmachari in New Jersey, in America. And so I remember the first time I encountered him, he came to our temple, and although he's just an exalted Vaishnav, he had time to have a chat with me. Now this is very unusual for people who are in high places to come low to people who are of a menial status. So right from then, I recognize his sense of compassion and his attentiveness to details. And when I took sannyas in 2009, February, I came to Delhi, and again I had an encounter with him, and he was very cordial. Now, cordiality in the life of a Vaishnav is what impels people to come close to them, or what impels people, what drives people to get close to him. So because he's just a cordial Vaishnav, it's inviting. By cordial means, it's inviting. There are some people you meet and they are not inviting. They are so great that they're not inviting. They don't want you around. But he is completely opposite. I remember when I met him in 2009, he told me, help with the preaching also in India, as you are, just a very promising person. So since then, I've been coming to Delhi in fulfillment of his proposal, in accepting that offer and embracing his cordiality. I've been coming to Delhi. In fact, I used to tell people in America that I'm more of a Delhian than a New Yorker. Because I come to Delhi And I remember one time I stayed in Delhi for 6 months. And because of him, the way he has trained his devotees in Delhi, at least I can speak for myself. The devotees in Delhi have been very cordial. And because of the way he emphasized how to deal or how to treat guests, the devotees have been very much, and the attitude of the devotees, the caring mood of the devotees in Delhi has been very encouraging. So I wish, other of our temples also, they could have that type of, caring attitude for guests who come. And today, we are celebrating his appearance. And so I want to take this opportunity to also mention that Maharaj is such a person that is not only a spiritual leader, but he's an expert in what we call in management science, talent management. He has expertise in talent management. You see, he engages his devotees according to their inclinations, according to their disposition. And so it is rare to find people like that, especially in an international organization, a spiritual or a faith-based organization like ISKCON. So he has a very good competency in engaging his devotees according to the talent of the devotees. And I really appreciate that very competency in him, because we don't find that in most of the spiritual leaders. And what I want to mention is that Maharaj is very much into detail. Because each time I come to Delhi and he sees me, he will always ask, are they taking good care of you? So I would say, yes, Maharaj, the devotees they're taking good care of me. So this is a caring attitude. It's basically a caring mindset. I've traveled around to many temples all over the world, and you don't find the leaders of that very place coming to you to ask those type of details. So it takes a compassionate leader to be able to connect with people in terms of their needs, their spiritual, their social, and economic needs. I remember also when I was seriously sick, and some of the devotees in Delhi were also helping to facilitate the generation of funds for my medication. And I remember one of the devotees, he told me how His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj said he wants to give something. Then he told him that, Maharaj, don't worry, we're going to collect from some other people. So he is a very practical person. That's another aspect of his life. He's a very practical person. I know one of his devotees, a brahmachari, who has been sick for years in Vrindavan, and he personally is responsible for that devotee's financial needs. So there are so many good examples we could give in terms of the compassion and the caring attitude of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So today I'm praying to him that he should bless me with some of these wonderful qualities to enable me to connect deeper with devotees like what he and Srila Prabhupada have done, and to be able to create an enabling environment for intergenerational sustainability in our movement. So Again, I thank the organizers for bringing me up, setting me up. So thank you very much. Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So now next we have His Grace Bhima Prabhuji. Again, I humbly request you to hold hands. Kindly restrict your Vyasa Puja offerings to 2 to 3 minutes, maximum 4 minutes. Bhima Prabhuji's, we humbly request Bhima Prabhu as well, and other devotees, please. Okay. So we could see that there are some disruptions, but it is because of network. Somehow technology plays its own leela. So please bear with us. So now we have Bhima Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So now we have Bhima. He is the Zonal Secretary for Bombay. Bhima Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you. Please. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Chakshur unmilitam jena tasmai shri gurave namaha. So, this is a very auspicious day. And I want to thank the devotees and the followers of Gopal Krishna Maharaj for inviting me to speak something. Gopal Krishna Maharaj has so many wonderful qualities. I'd like to focus on one of those qualities. And when we look at what Srimad Bhagavatam says about how the universe was created. The universe was, I'm not turning on the video because it's going to cut down on the bandwidth and you won't be able to hear so well. The universe is created by sound vibration, sound. Lord Brahma was sitting on top of the lotus flower and he heard a sound vibration, tapa, and from that he began to meditate and he realized the transcendental realization within his heart. So sound vibration is very important. And in our movement, that sound vibration is spread, has helped to spread this movement. Srila Prabhupada came and started this movement with sound vibration. He sat down in Thompson Square Park and he chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we see that Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that we distribute his books. Why? Because it's transcendental sound vibration. It's Shabda Brahma. And by that Shabda Brahma, just like the universe is created, that Shabda Brahma of Srila Prabhupada's book is manifesting more and more this ISKCON movement. One time Srila Prabhupada mentioned that whatever you see in ISKCON, somebody new who comes to ISKCON, they see so many temples, they see so many devotees, they see so many programs that are manifest. And in the same way, we can understand that happens by sound vibration. And one of the things that Gopal Krishna Maharaj is so dedicated to is the sale and distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. If you go way back to when he was a new devotee, which is a long time ago, he used to write letters to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was working outside, and Srila Prabhupada would answer his letters. Now, if you go and look in the letters book, every time Srila Prabhupada replied to his letters back in those days, Srila Prabhupada was thanking him for a donation to Srila Prabhupada's book fund. So right from the very beginning, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, even as a householder, living outside, working outside, he would donate to Srila Prabhupada's book fund. And later, when he came to India and became the GBC back in 1975, one of the first services that he took up was Srila Prabhupada's BBT, getting books translated. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, you see, he only comes to me when he has a new book that he's published, right? And we can see the results practically, because Gopal Krishna Maharaj is practically whipping the devotees, distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. Just see the result in Delhi. So many centers have manifested. All over the city of Delhi, we can see centers are coming up. Why? Because of Gopal Krishna Maharaj's dedication to spreading the sound vibration, right? He himself is such a nice example. He never misses an opportunity to lecture to the devotees on a regular basis. He's regularly preaching and emphasizing the importance of distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and we can see the result. So this is a very wonderful quality that he has. It shows his dedication to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's instructions. And so therefore, I've been associated with him for a very long time. And, on this day of his appearance, I pray that that association can continue again for a very long time, so that I can glean that quality that he has of spreading transcendental sound vibration for the benefit of the whole world. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak. Hare Krishna. All glories to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Bhima Prabhupada is a very senior devotee. He's a zonal secretary in Western India, and he's also fully committed to book distribution. And he works actively in the BBT, and under his supervision, BBT has developed, and so has book distribution. Bhima Prabhupada is very kind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Bhima Prabhuji. So next would be His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Govind Maharaj. Maharaj has been source of inspiration, and we all wait for Maharaj's offering because it is very instructive. And in a way, he chastises also to all the disciples who are not following very sincerely or serving Maharaj, or they are a little lethargic or a little lazy. So that phase, Maharaj gives very heavy offering. So every year we wait for Maharaj's offering, especially His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Govind Maharaj. And he has also taken sannyas from our beloved Guru Maharaj. He's Srila Prabhupada's disciple. He stayed in Panjabi Bagh as well. ISKCON Panjabi Bagh, gave his association to devotees there. And here also, again, we are very happy to have His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Govind Maharaj.
I don't consider myself to be from the U.S. anymore. So a foreign place. I've been in India by your mercy, I've been in India for about 15 years now, and so much nice service is being made available for me. And one of your disciples wrote a nice offering to you and sent it. I received a copy of it. I posted it on my Facebook group of Prabhupada Initiates, 850 Prabhupada Initiates, because I wanted to see how nicely you're training your disciples to love Prabhupada very nicely, because there's this mythological or defamatory rumor that the newer devotees are not being trained. Many are, and you're training your disciples so nicely. So I'm very indebted to you because you have helped me get my position here, that is to say my nice headquarters here in Punjabi Bagh, a suburb of Delhi, and to be able to serve in so many ways. Your disciples, wherever I go, are always so courteous, good etiquette, good understanding of the etiquette, very nice, And without your mercy, I certainly would not be a sannyas today, because I remember vividly how you went into the meetings. There were some who are not so confident for my taking sannyas ashram, but you went in with both fists flying, so to speak, and you pushed me through. So I'm forever indebted for that. So I just hope that you live at least another 15 years. That's a long time, because we're getting very old now. This is your 76th birthday, right? 76, 10. I think 10 years is probably pretty good, because after that the body may not be so useful, But we hope you stay at least another 10 years. I'll be gone. I'll be with Prabhupada. Probably you will probably outlive me. But that's wonderful. It's wonderful how your accomplishments are wonderful, and all the devotees all over the world should see that. And all those who are outside of ISKCON, who have sometimes had a few bitter words to say, they should see what your glorious accomplishments are. How much you are accomplishing for Prabhupada. How many temples? How many thousands of devotees? How many hundreds of thousands of books being distributed? All things that are directly pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. So that everyone should salute that. Nobody should say anything negative. So we hope that you will be with us a very long time and continue guiding devotees so nicely, because I've seen with my own eyes how, at your own expense, one night I was in Mayapur. It was 10:30 at night, and there was a queue of about 10 or 15 devotees, Vyasas of course, on the stairway waiting to come see you at 10:30 at night. And I was not happy about that, because they didn't seem to understand that they should not take advantage of your mercy, but they should serve, and live for the pleasure of Guru. That's all. Everyone should live for the pleasure of Guru. So in this way, I hope all the devotees understand they should live for the Guru, live for the pleasure of Guru. Guru means Gopal, but also, and all the Vaishnavacharyas, so that this movement can grow very nicely and continue being spread all over the world. Thank you very much.
Jai. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Now,
Hare Krishna. Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Maharaj is a very humble devotee, and he has been preaching in ISKCON for a long time. He joined more or less the same time as myself. I'm very happy that he's giving association to devotees in Punjabi Bagh, Bhadragarh, and all over Delhi. We wish him well.
हरे कृष्णा। तो अब हमारे बीच में हिज ग्रेस गौरांग प्रभु, जो कि जीडीओ हैं। जीडीओ एक नई पोस्ट है, ग्लोबल ड्यूटी ऑफिसर, और गोवर्धन इको विलेज के भी डायरेक्टर हैं। सारा एजुकेशन जो वहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है उसके भी इंचार्ज हैं। तब गौरांग प्रभु गुरु महाराज जी के बारे में अपना ग्लोरिफिकेशन देंगे। हिज ग्रेस गौरांग प्रभु की जय।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्णा। तो परम पूज्य गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज के कि श्रील प्रभुपाद को और हमारे पूर्वज आचार्यों को जिस प्रकार उन्होंने प्रसन्न किया अपने विभिन्न प्रयासों से, सेवाओं से, कुछ श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के लिए, श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के विषय में उनके कुछ शिष्य बताते हैं कि प्रभुपाद जी had 5 powerful qualities as a leader which made him so successful. One is Prabhupada had humility. Second, he had great enthusiasm. So the combination of humility and enthusiasm is very, very powerful, because sometimes when someone is humble, then many times he is not very inclined to do certain activities, and when someone is very active, then because of that activity person becomes proud. So Prabhupada had humility and enthusiasm being a great example for everybody. And similarly, I find the same in His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, that he has a unique combination of humility and enthusiasm, just like Devakinandan Prabhu also mentioned just now beautifully in his offering, that over the last 40 years he has been observing the combination of humility and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm to spread Krishna consciousness far and wide, enthusiasm to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books far and wide, enthusiasm to start newer and newer centers for Krishna consciousness. Delhi itself has more than 15 to 17 centers. Enthusiasm to practice the basic Panchanga Bhakti, of chanting the holy names, of being connected with the Srimad Bhagavatam, of worshipping the deities. And I cannot imagine anybody else amongst the leaders who have consistently shown an example of deity worship in Prabhupada's temples across the world than His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Whether it is sun or rain, summer or winter, any time of the season, any time of the whatever may have been the previous night, but he is right there just demonstrating that there is a huge difference between material organization and spiritual organization. Material organization, one derives their strength from external skills, whereas in spiritual organization, one gets all of one's power from Krishna and by being connected with Krishna. And therefore, whenever we see His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, whether it is Mangalarti, doing his deity worship, offering arti to the deities, or then immediately after that, he makes sure that he does his pujas to his beautiful set of shaligrams and various other personal deities, which he diligently performs worship. And then whether it is festivals, just like, typically on Janmashtami, he tries to visit as many temples in Delhi and be right there and make sure that Abhishek is happening right. So all these are very, very faith-giving and hope-giving to the devotees, because spiritual leadership is not a matter of material skills, but it is a matter of getting one's energy and power from one's connection with Krishna. And therefore, I remember that just a couple of weeks ago we had a conversation with him on devotee care, and Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was sharing Srila Prabhupada's instruction that as far as leadership is concerned, Prabhupada very much wanted in India stability, and therefore Prabhupada emphasized on stability, and Prabhupada really wanted the leadership in India to be stable. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, through his last 45 to 48 years of complete dedication to Srila Prabhupada's movement in India, has shown such stability, has been responsible for spearheading such stability along with other Maharajas like Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Radhanath Maharaj, Manu Maharaj, and others. Together, they have been single-handedly responsible for creating the ecosystem, creating the right kind of ambience for all of us next generation devotees to experience a very stable platform for practice of Krishna consciousness. In fact, in the 1970s, just talking about humility and enthusiasm, in the 1970s, ISKCON was being accused of being CIA agent. And in fact, there is a document in the folio where you can refer to, where this particular question was raised in the Lok Sabha. And, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj at that time had given a written reply to this on the direction and the advice of his Divine Guru Srila Prabhupada about how ISKCON is not a CIA agent or not any kind of anti-national element. And this requires tremendous amount of humility when all of one's efforts are being questioned by the government, by the top leaders. And so His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj went through that episode, went through these situations. And sometimes when people question us, accuse us, and misunderstand us, we may have a tendency to become rebellious or disconnect ourselves, thinking that there is no point dealing with them. They are always like this. But very much to the contrary, Gopal Krishna Maharaj had the humility to deal with such accusations which were being leveled upon ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada as CIA agents and all. He was very much at the thick of the receiving end. But he very, very enthusiastically, and enthusiasm is defined as Rupa Goswami as to use the intelligence in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. Prabhupada defines management as to create interest in Krishna consciousness where there is none. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj, rather than withdrawing himself from this kind of a situation, saying that no point connecting with this government and the government people because they are always misunderstanding, कोई फायदा नहीं इनके साथ किसी प्रकार का लेना देना रख के नहीं. On the other hand, Maharaj went out of his way to make sure that every head of state in India from those 70s period received a Bhagavad Gita, got an understanding of what Srila Prabhupada's contribution is. And thanks to his diligent enthusiasm, the Prime Minister of India at that time, Honorable Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he came and opened the ISKCON temple in Delhi. And then, following in the footsteps, and very recently, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he came and inaugurated the big Bhagavad Gita, the mega Bhagavad Gita. So this is a testimony of Maharaja's combination of humility and enthusiasm. Then the third quality Prabhupada had was Prabhupada was always appreciative of everybody. And so, like during this devotee care interview, as I was asking questions to Maharaj and mentioning certain things, and then Maharaj immediately started appreciating all the devotees involved in devotee care, the team who is trying to spread devotee care, strategic planning team which is very much involved with devotee care. And he acknowledged and appreciated all those who are involved in this activity. And therefore, as Devakinandan Prabhu said during marathon, he goes from one stall to another stall, appreciating the efforts of everybody. Appreciating the efforts of, he's so personal that even, he met my mother once and then he always appreciates her and acknowledges her. And then Prabhupada not only appreciated all, but he recognized excellence. He recognized excellence. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj also very much recognizes those who are doing excellent service and he empowers them more and more. Amongst all the leaders who have shown interest and supported the GBC college, Gopal Krishna Maharaj is one amongst them, amongst the topmost of leaders who has sent the maximum number of people to be trained in the GBC college, and one who believes very much in preserving the legacy of Srila Prabhupada and his teachings by giving proper training to the next generation who are going to be taking up leadership positions and roles. Having spent quality time with Srila Prabhupada, understanding how organization in India can be effective, he has actually received that legacy from Srila Prabhupada directly on spreading Krishna consciousness movement and maintaining Krishna consciousness movement within India especially. And therefore, during the last 20 years, ISKCON in India has experienced phenomenal growth at all levels, whether it is book distribution, opening of new temples, distribution of prasadam, youth preaching, congregational development, and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is at the forefront of all of this. He has opened the maximum number of temples amongst ISKCON leaders. He has distributed maximum number of books amongst ISKCON leaders. He has distributed the maximum number of plates of prasadam amongst ISKCON leaders. He has conducted the largest youth festivals amongst ISKCON leaders, and also has encouraged maximum number of youth preachers who are spreading Krishna consciousness in so many centers. And therefore, we find in him somebody who has the ability to spot the talent, empower that talent, and give them, the empowerment they need to go to the next level. And therefore, he has recognized those who have excelled. And fifth is, Srila Prabhupada give creative freedom. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, also knowing the subtle and fine art of leadership, is always very much eager to give creative freedom to many, many of his disciples. And therefore we have examples like the Madhava's rock band, which is quite a unique combination of devotees excelling in sharing their talent in very unique ways, and that is only possible when you give creative freedom to somebody. And so like that we have the motivational speaker Vivek Bindraji. Maharaj has really mentored him and given him the wonderful creative freedom. And like that, so many book distributors and those who have been involved in building temples and opening temples in different centers in his zone, whether it is in Africa. Some of the best temples I have seen in the world I have seen in Nairobi, where Maharaj has really given a lot of empowerment to people there to know that Srila Prabhupada's movement needs to be spread very uniquely. In fact, one of the best sweet shops in the whole of ISKCON I have seen there in Nairobi, and the devotee who was running it was sharing how Maharaj personally gave creative freedom and empowered him so that he could take things to the next level. So I feel very fortunate to be in a very small way able to serve and connect with such wonderful, amazing soldiers in the army of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, generals in the army of Srila Prabhupada, as His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And I'm extremely grateful to him for the amazing contributions he has made to Srila Prabhupada's mission, through his example, through his strategies, through his wonderful projects, and through his amazing initiative. And therefore, I pray to Sri Sri Radha Parthasardaji, Sri Sri Krishna Balram Radha Shyam Sundar, and all the deities, that they offer a long, long life to him, very healthy and very energetic and full of vigor, and so many amazing new ideas and new projects are going to manifest in that period, because as Devkinandan Prabhu also
his right-hand man. He's almost a GBC member and a very responsible devotee in ISKCON. He has taken on a lot of responsibility. I mean, I get surprised in every committee I see Gauranga. So he's an IIT graduate, and he's also very active in many areas. And as I said earlier, Vaishnavas are very humble, so they give all the credit to others. Gauranga is a very good example to the next generation of leaders, how he works 24 hours in pushing Prabhupada's movement. So thank you, Gauranga Prabhu, for your kind words. Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Gaurang Prabhu. Today he was even looking like His Holiness Radharaj Maharaj. He had taken Chadar in a way, the way Maharaj takes. So thank you so much, and sharing that how those who are humble, they are not so enthusiastic, and those who are enthusiastic, they are not so humble, but these two qualities, when they are together, they make a deadly combination, and it's a very rarely found combination, and that's present in Srila Prabhupada as well as His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to the technical team, because in the last moment we shift the venue because the devotees were concerned about Maharaj's health, and that phase the decision could not be taken whether we should have Vyasa Puja celebrations or not, whether we should have only virtual celebration or we should have semi-virtual celebration. So that way discussions were going on, and that phase we shifted the venue from auditorium to this place. But still in the last moment the technical team, they set up everything. Of course, in the last minute there were some glitches, some struggles, but they overcome the struggle very quickly. So thanks to the technical team, and that's why because of them we are able to see this telecast and all this happening so wonderfully. Thanks. So one loud Hari Bol to the technical team. Hari Bol.
Delicious biryanis to cheesy pizzas.
More population than Delhi, but in Delhi somebody said 17. I'm amazed. I was going to say 12 or 15. It's not just small centers, huge, very beautiful temples. We were just last year at the inauguration of Bahadurgarh, some place we never even heard of, huge, beautiful temple, somewhat modeled after our Krishna Balaram Mandir. So it's just, I'm just amazed. I have so much great appreciation and respect for Gopal Krishna Maharaj, for his enthusiasm to preach. Of course, I'm not much in Bombay, but I've seen also so many temples have come up, as Gauranga Prabhu mentioned there in Bombay, but I'm simply amazed how many temples are there in Delhi, how many books Delhi distributes. And I'm also amazed at his dedication to his sadhana. He does so much work and so much service and so many worries, but I have seen his sadhana is perfect. I've been on preaching programs that went late into the night, and still next morning by Mangalarti he's awake, but I'm still thinking, oh, it was too heavy last night, we stayed up too late. His sadhana is perfect. So these are perfect combination. Enthusiasm, as Gauranga Prabhu said about the enthusiasm, and Dean also mentioned. I'm simply amazed at him, and you're under the most wonderful care, most wonderful spiritual master you all have, that you're celebrating his Vyasa Puja today. And we can only pray to our deities, Sri Gaunitai, Krishna Balaram, Sri Radha Shamsundar, and Srila Prabhupada, that he live with us for many, many healthy years,
and do so much more service for Prabhupada and spread Krishna consciousness more and more for many, many years to come. This is our blessing from Braj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, His Grace Deebandhu Prabhuji.
Everybody knows Dinabandhu Prabhu.
Haribol.
I often tell him he's so popular in Braj. I tell him he should fight elections and he'll defeat everyone. Dinabandhu is a Brajbasi, speaks fluent Hindi, and he knows more Braj stories than anyone. He knows more Braj stories than anyone. Dinabandhu Prabhu is a great devotee. Thank you for your kind words.
Jai. Haribol. So from Vrindavan sometimes the signals may be a little weak, but yes, spiritual signals are always on. So thank you so much, His Grace Deebandhu Prabhuji. And now we'll get to hear from His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. So Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, once Srila Prabhupada, he told him that, Jai Pataka Swami, you are associate of Lord Chaitanya. And then Srila Jai Pataka Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada, how can you say that? And then Srila Prabhupada said, what's your legal name? He said, my name is Gordon John. Then Srila Prabhupada said, Gordon John means Gordhan Jan. So that ways you are eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. And he said, Jai Pataka Swami, I am giving you kingdom of God, you kindly develop it now. So a great Vaishnava, Srila Jai Pataka Maharaj, and now we'll get to hear from Srila Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. Haribol! Okay, meanwhile this is from the printing machine where the first 3 volumes of Srila Prabhupada, they got published, so we are offering this to Maharaj. This is from Chippiwada. Neelkant Prabhu has offered this to Maharaj. So Neelkant Prabhu is there, back side. Okay, meanwhile
ये वो उस मशीन से है, उस मशीन का लीवर है जिसमें श्रील प्रभुपाद के प्रथम स्कंद भागवतम का उसके ये 3 खंड जो है इसी से प्रिंट हुआ था. तो गुरु महाराज को प्रस्तुत करें. इस ग्रेस नीलकंठ प्रभु छिपीवाड़ा से आए हैं, हमारे टेम्पल प्रेसिडेंट डिस्काउंट के पीछे बैठे हैं.
This is the part of the printing machine that printed Prabhupada's first Srimad Bhagavatam set. And we thank Neelkant Prabhu for finding this. Neelkant worked hard in developing Chippiwada temple. Thank you. This was a set designed by Prabhupada, and he took with him 200 sets to America. Okay.
That's the first 3.
Okay. So here we have His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj ki Jai. The victory flag of Lord Nityanand Prabhu. Jai Pataka Swami.
Katipatvanande, Egonidhanam, Bhavananam, Sri Chaitanya Ishram, Amsakalpatra Vishta, Kipasinu Devatsa, Vaishnava Bhavanedev, Vaishnava Namaha. So, I'd like to offer my Shraddhanjali at the lotus feet of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
So I would like to offer my Shraddhanjali to the lotus feet of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj
On the auspicious occasion of his Vyasa Puja.
on the auspicious occasion of his Vyasa Puja.
I've been blessed by his association since 1968.
I have been blessed by his association since 1968.
At that time, I went to Montreal to meet Srila Prabhupada.
At that time, I went to Montreal to meet Srila Prabhupada.
And then, I don't know if he was initiated yet or he was still a bhakta.
I don't know if he was initiated yet or he was still a bhakta.
But he was working at that time as an executive for a multinational company.
But at that time, he was working as an executive for a multinational company.
I think he was a grihastha.
I think he was a grihastha.
He would go every morning in the temple before work, wearing his suit and tie.
Every morning, he would go to temple before his work, wearing a suit and tie.
And then in front of each picture, he'd bow down and say his pranam.
And in front of each picture, he would bow down and say his pranam.
And he would chant maybe one round before each picture.
And maybe he would chant one round before each picture.
I was sent out from the temple because I chanted too loud.
I was sent out from the temple because I chanted too loud.
So I got banished to the park.
So I got banished to the park.
But I thought he was very dear to Srila Prabhupada.
But I saw he was very dear to Srila Prabhupada.
Then he came to India. He was a sannyasi then.
Then when he came to India, he was a sannyasi then.
And being like a mile for Vrindavan is the holy places. Prabhupada would personally, when he was there, he would find out any defect.
Being in Vrindavan or Mayapur, when Prabhupada was personally present, he would point out any defect.
He wanted us to be trained up.
He wanted us to be trained up.
So I knew this rasa that 2 or 3 days, 1 or 2 days, Prabhupada would be very nice. Then he would start finding faults.
So I knew this rasa for a couple of days. Prabhupada would be nice and then he would start finding faults.
So when I went to Vrindavan to see Prabhupada,
So when I went to Vrindavan to see Srila Prabhupada,
and I walked along with Prabhupada, he was asking His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, is everything all right?
then I was walking with Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada was asking His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, is everything all right?
And at that time I was sitting in that room in the corner of the back corner of the Krishna Balaram temple.
At that time we were sitting in the corner room of the Krishna Balaram temple.
And then he said, yes, Prabhupada, everything okay.
And then he said, yes, Prabhupada, everything is okay.
But then a piece of straw fell on Prabhupada's head.
Then a piece of straw fell on Prabhupada's head.
He looked up.
Prabhupada looked up.
He saw a bird was building a nest.
He saw that a bird was building its nest
in the lamp.
In the lamp.
Then he pointed that, so what is that?
And then he pointed that. What's that?
Well, I know that this is, Prabhupada would do this because he knew that the person he was doing it to was very surrendered.
I knew that Srila Prabhupada would do this because he knew he is doing that to a person who is very surrendered.
And Prabhupada was trying to lift the management to the higher level.
And Prabhupada wanted to lift the management to the higher level.
So, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the GBC first.
So His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the GBC first.
Also, he was the trustee of the BBT.
Also, he was the trustee of the BBT.
Still is.
Still he is.
And at that time, we wanted to